let's switch on two more subjects, just like we did last time when we found out that on the television show Howdy Doody, Clarabelle the Clown never spoke until the last show, when all he said was, "Goodbye, kids." That's sad. But we're going to have a lot of fun. What we got to do is meet our players, and here they are, starting with Barbara.
Hi. I'm Barbara Miller. I was born in Illinois, but I've lived in 6 other states. And I'm a former teacher, I'm presently in sales, and I'm married for 2 years.
Now, what did you teach when you taught?
I taught junior high, special education.
Special education?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you that was interesting.
It was very interesting.
Oh, good. All right. Well, good to have you with us.
Thank you.
All right, let's meet our second player, Curtis.
Hi, Peter. My name's Curtis. I've just recently moved to L.A. about 8 months ago. I live in downtown, which is a strange, unique little situation. And presently, right now, I work for a major airline, and that's...
Ah, Curtis, you're so nervous you didn't even say your last name.
Santos.
Santos?
Santos.
All right, good to have you with us. Don't be nervous. You're going to make a lot of money.
I'll be okay in a few minutes.
Good. Okay, so will I. I'm a little nervous myself. All right, let's meet Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol Conklin. I design ladies' clothes and square dance dresses. I've been married 7 years, and my husband and I raise wild birds.
Boy, I got a lot to talk to you about.
Uh-oh.
What kind of wild birds?
The little ones in the spring that fall out of the nests are brought to us, and then we hand feed them and get them so that they're ready to be released in the spring.
That's great.
Uh-huh.
Oh, really? Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Nice to have you with us. Okay, those are our 3 challengers. Now, let's meet our champion, Leon Reed. How are you, man? Good to see you. Nice to see you. Leon, I understand you have a rather unusual hobby. What might that be?
Well, it wasn't exactly a hobby. When I first got to California, it was my first job. I was a seashell sorter.
Can you say it 5 times fast?
I was a seashell sorter. I separated the seashell.
Well, hope you have better luck in the game.
I hope so, too.
All right, just a minute. We're going to be showing our contestants and you out there our first story. Leon, you'll be watching it off stage. We'll see you at the end of round 1, and we'll be seeing you right after this. All right, welcome back to Hitman. Now, all the questions are going to be asked in round 1 are going to be based on a story. The story of W.C. Fields, one of a kind. To our mind, Philadelphia is famous for 2 things, the Liberty Bell and W.C. Fields. And not only are they both American institutions, but just like the Liberty Bell, W.C. Fields was a little bit cracked. He was born William Claude Duncan Field in 1879. His father was a fruit peddler, and at the age of 5, little Claude began helping him sell his wares. Rutabagas, he would call out, even when they didn't have any, because he liked the sound of the words. This enraged his father. When Claude was 9, he taught himself to juggle. He would sneak into the stable and practice with his father's oranges. By the time Claude learned how, the fruit was thoroughly bruised. So was Claude when his father caught him. When he was 11, he decided he had had enough. He hit his father over the head with a wooden box and left home, never to return. He wound up in town, sleeping over a stable. Because there was no heat, he suffered from a constant cold. This gave his voice that famous rasp. In a few years, he left Philadelphia. Before he did, he threw himself a party and passed a hat. The biggest contributors were the local police. They even promised to send him more money if he stayed away. Calling himself W.C. Fields, he got a job with a small circus doing a juggling act. In it, Fields juggled a silk hat and 2 white mice. But he had to retire the mice because of pressure from the Humane Society. He appeared in the Ziegfeld Follies. When he learned that Flo Ziegfeld thought dwarfs were bad luck, Fields hired one to guard his liquor. It was a big job because Fields drank 2 quarts a day. But even Fields had limits. He once said, "I never have anything stronger than gin before breakfast." Fields' first movie was the short Pool Sharks, and it was the first of many. In one movie, he broke his neck while doing a stunt. In the hospital, he got drunk on martinis, took his wheelchair down a flight of stairs, and broke his tailbone. Typically, he blamed the hospital. "Damnation! I came broken at one end, and now I'm broken at both." One of his popular co-stars was Baby Leroy. When Fields was asked how he liked children, he replied, "Parboiled." In 1940, Fields played Egbert Susay in the classic comedy The Bank Dick. That same year, he also starred with Mae West in a Western, My Little Chickadee. As they were about to hang him, he looked on the bright side and said, "This will be a great lesson to me." On On Christmas Day in 1946, W.C. Fields passed on. He wrote his own epitaph, and like his life, it was a little different. It said simply, "On the whole, I'd rather be in Philadelphia." And that's our first story. All right, our game is played in two very different rounds. In round one, our three challengers will be fighting it out in order to determine which two of them are going to go on to do battle with our reigning champion later on in round two. Of course, we make that determination by running a little race. Whichever two of you crosses that finish line first will be the two who go on to meet the champion in round two. Unfortunately, the third place finisher will not have that opportunity because he or she will be out of the game. Okay? Get your hands on your buzzers because here comes your first question. W.C. Fields is originally from what city? Carol.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is right, Carol. Okay. First one's always the toughest, isn't it, Carol? All right. Fields said, "I never had anything stronger than what?" Barbara?
Gin.
Gin before breakfast. You're right, Barbara. Well done. What did Fields teach himself to do at age 9? Carol?
Juggle.
Juggle is right. Well done. What was the title of Fields' first movie? Carol?
Pool shark.
Pool Sharks is right, Carol. Well done. Curtis, is this strategy on your part? I knew it was. I knew it was. Okay, here goes the next question. Who did Fields hire to guard his liquor? Carol?
A dwarf.
A dwarf is right. Well done, Carol. You know where you are. You are now one step away from being our first winner. This question could put you over. Here it comes. Who threw the party for Fields when he left? Carol?
He did.
Philadelphia, he did indeed. All right, Carol. You ought to throw a party for yourself. You're our first winner. And that means you are definitely going to meet the champion in round two, and you get to sit back and relax while Barbara and Curtis decide who joins you. Okay? Barbara, Curtis, here's your question. Name the comedy western Fields made in Curtis.
My Little Chickadee.
My Little Chickadee is right, Curtis. All right. You just wanted to get rid of Carol and work on Barbara. Okay, I understand. All right, Curtis. Barbara, what did Fields' father do for a living? Curtis.
He was a fruit produce seller.
Yes, he was. Curtis goes into the lead. You've been laying back in the bushes, Curtis. You're already coming on now. Okay, here we go. What kind of job did Fields get with a small circus? Curtis.
He was a juggler.
Yes, he was a juggler. Curtis moving up. Barbara. What injury did Fields sustain while doing a movie? Barbara.
Broke his neck.
Doing a movie stunt, broke his neck is right. Barbara's heard from again. And you move yourself up one behind Curtis. A little battle going on here. Who thought that dwarfs were bad luck? Curtis?
The owner of the circus.
Flo Ziegfeld thought they were bad luck. They're bad luck for you. All right?
Always.
All right, Curtis, we're going to turn the light off on your podium just temporarily while we go over to Barbara and give her the question. If you know the answer, Barbara, press your buzzer. If you don't, just don't press it. That way you don't get penalized. It's all for you. Here it comes. What was passed around at Fields' Philadelphia farewell party?
The hat for money.
The hat is right. Okay, Barbara, that ties you with Curtis. We'll bring you back in, Curtis. Great. Here we go with our next question. What type of injury did Fields sustain while in the hospital? Barbara.
He fell down the stairs in a wheelchair and broke his back end.
Broke his back end? Yes, he did. You're right. Wow. I didn't know the injuries were that complex. All right, Barbara, you are now one step away from being our second winner. And as you know, Curtis, there can only be two. Carol's already there. Here's the question. What was W.C. Fields' epitaph? Barbara.
Oh, I wish I was in, I'd rather be in Philadelphia.
Yes, you're right. I'd rather be in Philadelphia. You are second winner, Barbara. And you'd rather be on Hitman, quite obviously. You got yourself $200. Carol's got $300. You're going to join Carol in the fight against the champion in round two. Curtis, well done. Thank you. I must say, you came out of nowhere. You came up there, and you're going to get yourself some nice prizes for being with us. I thank you. All right. We'll be back in just a moment to see how our two challengers do battle against the champion in round two, right after this. Okay, we're back for round two of Hitman with our two winners. We've got Carol having gotten herself $300 for coming in first in round one, and Barbara got $200 for coming in second. Well done, ladies. Okay, round two is played entirely differently from round one because in this round, the challengers attempt to unseat the champion. Therefore, let's meet him one more time, our champion of 7 days, Leon Reed. How are you, Leon? You tried to say the seashell. I wouldn't even try to say it, but the whole seashell thing
That's
you
why I
tried.
took the job.
What was it, though?
I was sorting seashells. They're abalone shells, great big heavy things in big sacks, according to size, for jewelry companies. They make mother of pearl and different types of decorative jewelry.
You have been around, Leon.
Well, I did.
All right, well, maybe that's what helps you with all the stories. Let's see how you do today. Okay, we're ready for a brand new story, and that is stamps. The postage with the mostage. Have you ever gotten a letter with the initials SWAK on the back? That means the envelope was sealed with a kiss. But no matter how it was sealed, if it didn't have a stamp on it, it never would have been delivered. That wasn't always the case. Even though letters had been mailed for over 6,000 years, the first stick-on postage stamp only came out in 1840. It was a British stamp, and on it was the profile of Queen Victoria. It sold for 1 cent and was called the penny black. The first stamp in the U.S. had Ben Franklin on it. He was honored because he was our first postmaster general. Abraham Lincoln was once a small-town postmaster. He had a post office in his store back in Illinois. And when he delivered the mail, he carried it in his hat. Abe was so honest, we bet he didn't even read the postcards. By the way, the early stamps weren't perforated. You had to cut them from the sheet with scissors. As for the sticky stuff that comes off the back and gets on your tongue, at first it was made from potato starch. But now, through the wonders of modern chemistry, they use gum arabic. It still tastes rotten. But you don't have to lick them. You can save them. Stamp collectors around the world gather up all kinds of stamps. The Cinderella Stamp Club specializes in a group of stamps called phantoms. These are stamps issued by phony countries or illegal governments. If you ever find a stamp from the People's Republic of Disneyland, send it to them. There are famous collectors, such as England's Queen Elizabeth II and Monaco's Prince Rainier. According to legend, the man who sculpted the Statue of Liberty, Frederick Bartholdi, was a collector, and the book the lady is holding is a stamp album. President Franklin D. Roosevelt began collecting stamps when he was 10. Later in life, he designed a stamp of Whistler's mother. It wasn't just a little hobby for Roosevelt. His collection finally sold for $250,000. That's not so much. A single stamp sold for more. It was a temporary stamp that the country of British Guiana originally sold for a penny. A century later, it sold for $280,000. Some stamps increase in value much faster than that. In 1918, when airmail first began, the U.S. Post Office issued a special 24-cent stamp. On it was a picture of the early airplane, the Jenny. A man named Roby bought a sheet of 100 stamps, $24 worth. Then he discovered that the Jenny was printed upside down. This made the stamps valuable, and that same week, Roby sold the sheet for $15,000. So, the next time you mail a letter, take a good look at the stamp. If George Washington is wearing Abe Lincoln's beard, your little stamp may be worth big money. If not, the stamp is still good for that great U.S. Postal Service. Just put it on your letter and mail it off. Sooner or later, it'll get there. All right, that's our story on stamps. And of course, this is the board upon which we play round 2. And Carol, since you came in first in round 1, you get 4 hit men, and here they are. And Barbara, you came in second, so you get 3 hit men, and here they are. And Leon, that's, as you know, that's a total number of 7. So to keep things nice and even, Leon, we always give the champ 7 hit men, and here they are. All right, in this round, the champion is going to fight each challenger one at a time. Players, a right answer knocks out an opponent's man, a wrong answer knocks out one of your own men. But when a challenger loses a man, she must stop playing while the champion then takes on the other challenger. The champion is trying to wipe out all the challenger's men. Each challenger is trying to wipe out the champion's last man. The winner of the game will go on to try for our Triple Crown worth $10,000 in cash. Okay, Carol. Because you were our first place winner in round 1, you get to decide who goes up against Leon, you or Barbara.
I'd like to start.
You're going to go for it. All right. What a gal. Here's your first question. Who was America's first post... Leon.
Benjamin Franklin.
First Postmaster General, Benjamin Franklin is right. Benjamin Franklin is right. That means Carol Kenton loses a man. We go right over to Barbara. How much did the first stick-on stamp, Leon?
It was a penny.
Sell for a penny is right. Barbara Kenton loses a man. We go back over to Carol. It's like a ping-pong match. Here we go. Name a queen who is a stamp, Leon.
Victoria.
Stamp collector is Elizabeth.
Oh.
That means Champs hit and lose the man. Carol likes that. We stick with Carol. Next question. The early airmail stamp had a picture of a plane. Carol?
Jenny.
Name the what? The Jenny's right. Champs hit and lose the man. Stamp's down to 5. Carol's got 3. According to legend, what is the book that the Statue of Liberty, Carol,
Stamp book.
is holding? Stamp is right. Champs hit and lose the man down to 4. Champ's not used to this. All right, here's the next question. The first stick-on stamp was from, Leon?
It was from the British Empire. It was a penny.
Yes, British Empire, Britain, England. No. Yes, right. I don't know what we're doing, but we're going to take it. It is Britain and England, and you're right. And Carol's hit and loses the man. We go over to Barbara. Okay, Barbara. Carol helped you out. She got rid of, about 3 of Leon's hitmen. Let's see how you can do. What famous American was once a small-town postmaster, Leon?
It was Abraham Lincoln.
It was Abraham Lincoln. Barbara's hit and loses the man. We go back over to Carol. All right, Carol, let's see if we can pick up where you left off. Name the club who specialized...
It's the Cinderella Stamp Club.
It is the Cinderella Stamp Club. You are right. Carol's hit and loses the man. We go back over to Barbara. Barbara, you have 1 hitman left. You are not in a great position in that if Leon answers the question correctly, you'll be out of the game. Okay? Here comes your question. Name a prince who is a stamp collector, Barbara.
Rainier.
Rainier's right. Champs hit and loses the man. Now, hang in there, Barbara. Okay, here's your next question. Whose picture was on the first U.S. stamp? Leon.
It was Benjamin Franklin.
You're right, Benjamin Franklin, and Barbara's hit it out of the game. Just squeezed it in under the wire, Leon. Okay, over to Carol. Carol, Leon has 3 hitmen left, and you have 1. You've got a similar position to Barbara's, in that if Leon answers this question correctly, he stays as our champion. Here it comes. Name the president who designed Leon.
Franklin Roosevelt.
Designed a stamp. Roosevelt is right, and you're a champ once again, Leon. Well done. What a good game. Barbara, you got yourself $200 for round 1. I thank you for being with us. You played really well. And Carol, you got yourself $300 for round 1. I thank you very much. Good luck with your bird.
Thank you.
And Leon, as the champ, you're going to have an opportunity to go for a Triple Crown for $10,000 in cash. Come on back and see if Leon can do it. We'll be back after this.
Michael, have...
All right, it's time for our Triple Crown. Let me ask you, Leon, this has got to beat sorting seashells.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Let me ask you, before we get into the Triple Crown, do you have any kind of special preparation before we go into this part of the game?
You mean in my own mind?
Yeah.
I just calm down and just ask the good Lord to help me.
That's done a pretty good job so far. Let's see how he does this time. You got 60 seconds to play the game. On that board over there, you see 8 columns, and each column is a number of circles. Now, you call it a column. I'll read you a question based on either of the 2 stories you've heard today. If you're right, you'll change that first circle into that column into a money man, and I'll read you another question. Now, I'll continue to read you questions until you change every circle in that column into a money man or until you make a mistake. Now, if you make a mistake or pass on a question, you've got to call out another column. You fill up 1 column with money men, you win $1,000. You fill up 2 columns with money men, and you win $2,000. And as you know, you fill up 3 columns with money men, and you win $10,000 in cash. All right, Liam, but as always, you're not going to see how many circles are in each column because we're going to keep your back to the board as it is now for the entire game, and we're going to reset the board pattern. All right? Set the board. The game and the clock will begin when you call out your first column, and Leon, best of luck.
Column 4?
4. Who did Fields say he liked parboiled?
Children.
Right. Lincoln's post office was in what state?
Illinois.
Right. There's your first column. Another. 1. W.C. Fields died on what day in 1946?
Christmas Day.
Right. What was the first stick-on stamp called?
Penny black.
Right. What color mice did Fields use in his juggling
White
act? Right. Airmail began in the U.S. in what year?
1943.
Another column.
5.
5. What was Fields' last name at birth?
Duncanfield.
Right. What are stamps issued by phony countries called?
Founds.
Right. Fields drank how much liquor per day?
About a quart.
Another column.
6.
6. How old was Roosevelt when he started collecting stamps?
Column 8.
8. In what film did Fields play Egbert Susay?
My little chicken.
No, another column.
Column 3.
3. W.C. Fields was born in what year?
Column 7.
7. How many Jenny stamps did Roby buy?
24.
Another column.
Column 2.
2. With what did Fields hit his father?
Hit him with a cardboard, wooden box.
Right. What did Fields juggle along with his white mice?
Oh, hat.
We ran out of time. Yeah, this was a tough one. This was a tough one. You got yourself $1,000. You got all the way up on 2 comps, 5 and 1. And you missed the last question. But you got yourself $1,000. All right. Are you? Good, I am too. All right. We'll be right back right after this. We're back, and Leon, in that triple crown, you got yourself $1,000. Added to your previous total of $38,300, gives you a grand total of $39,300. All right, you get that first column real quick. It's the second two that give you some problems, don't they? All right. Well, you'll be back next time. You try maybe tomorrow if you can get all the way through it. All right? I know you know more about W.C. Fields' stance than you did before. And I bet you do too. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Some of our players this year, Brindle of the Rug Doctor improves steam carpet cleaner with a vibrating brush, removes deep down dirt from carpets. Rug Doctor steaming mat at third. Also, Kraft macaroni and cheese dinner. It's the only one with their exclusive cheddar cheese sauce recipe. It's made with Kraft cheddar. What could be better? Plus, Trident sugarless gum, fresh. Enjoy the fresh, clean taste of new Trident gum with new improved flavor. Trident gum. Is a Jay Wolford production in association with Metromedia Video Productions. This is Rod Roddy speaking.